Hello, my friends. Welcome back to Reclaim Within. I am Ash, and today's episode might ruffle feathers, and that's actually okay. What I am sharing today has been years in the making. It's taken deep inner work for myself to be able to reclaim my voice from the grip of people pleasing, and even deeper work to actually speak what I see without the fear of being misinterpreted or misunderstood. So, before I begin, I wanted to name something clearly. What I am about to share comes from a place of love, not from a need to be agreed with. And that's the version of me that you get today, the one who finally feels safe enough to speak from her center about what I see out in the world, whether you agree or not. So let's get into it. Here's the bold statement that I would like to make. We have collectively, all of us, inherited a hive mind of guilt and shame. And it is now time that we evolve out of that together. Most of us are swimming in it, like fish in murky water who do not even realize how murky the water is. This programming runs so deep, and it is woven into our schools, families, spiritual communities, politics, and online spaces. We have been taught to be good, not to be whole. And depending on your background, this might have been blatant or so subtle that you couldn't name it, but I assure you, it's there. And here is the real kicker. Even when we're doing our inner work or studying tools like astrology or consciousness, that same programming of guilt and shame comes with us. It doesn't disappear just because we've changed the languaging. It sneaks in through this back door of our consciousness, of our psyche, and it starts to shape how we engage with the work itself. I first began noticing this within my relationship to the study of astrology. I've been studying astrology since I was 13 years old, and I just started getting a real distaste for it. There was something about how people were using it that made me cringe. It wasn't the archetypes, it wasn't the planetary transits, it wasn't that it was calculator of the cosmic alchemy. It was the tone, the judgment, the shame-based interpretations, the giving your power away to it. You know what I'm talking about. He's a Scorpio, no thanks. Or she's a Virgo, of course she's so controlling. It felt so deeply disrespectful to me. To the people, yes, but also to the sacredness of the practice itself, to the ancient practice that's been passed down for thousands and thousands of years. So eventually in my own process, I had to walk away from my studies of astrology altogether, just to be able to actually see clearly what was going on and what made me feel so cringy. And what I've been able to now piece together is that guilt and shame have infected even the tools that have meant to set us free. And it's been really strange to witness this paradoxical orientation of how sneaky the guilt and shame programming is and how it can get into so many different back avenues that are at least originally intended to be helpful or healing or to help you see more of yourself. And yet it gets in. It's broken my heart because the study of astrology or any tool of consciousness was never meant to reassure to us that we were bad. That's not what these tools are here to do. It's not here to make you think that you're a bad person. The tools are here to help us remember who we are, remember our soul's design, remember the cycles that we're in on this planet as we evolve and move together. And most importantly, remember that we're actually not here to be perfect. We are here to be human, which means we're going to make mistakes. We are going to be inherently flawed, but at the same time, we are inherently whole. So let's be clear. Guilt and shame are not inherently bad. They actually sometimes can be helpful. What they are is they're messengers. They arise when something is out of alignment, but they are not meant to define us and who we are. Yet there's this collective hive mind that has taken over, and guilt and shame have been now weaponized and used to keep us disempowered, obedient, silent, sometimes by others, but a lot of the times what I witness is we do it to ourselves. It's our own egos keeping us from growth or keeping us from humility, keeping us from engaging with reality and doing the harder work of feeling our feelings of grief and anger and sadness. It's hard because it's up to each of us to interrupt that pattern within ourselves, to actually meet the guilt with curiosity, to meet the shame within us with gentleness, to say, I see you, guilt, I see you, shame, I feel you, but you're not going to drive the car anymore. It is up to us to unplug from hive mind mentality that's actually been keeping us locked up and contorted inside of ourselves for far too long. Or ask, what are you wanting to teach me? What are you here for? When we use any work, for me it was astrology, but any work as a mirror to confirm our guilt, we are completely misusing the medicine of the tool. The real work is integration. That's what's missing right now. It's the tool that we need to be able to actually mature our trauma into wisdom. And it is by saying, yes, I have felt guilt, and yes, I have known shame, but I am bringing them into the wholeness of my being and accepting their teachings. I am no longer going to exile them or use them as a whipping tool. I'm not also going to let them take rulership over me to keep me small or keep me contorted in some way, or keep me in a judgmental space. And so this is not at all about fixing yourself. It is about remembering yourself. Again, it's really about remembering. And when we peel away the shame that is covering our connection, and we stop chasing the illusion of needing to always be good, what is left is you, your tenderness, your radiance, your messiness, your pain, your hurt, and your power. The guilt and shame hive mind may still be all around us, but once you start to see it and once you can unhook from it, that's where you start to allow for yourself to actually use the tools that are available to us as a way to reclaim more of our wholeness, to be able to accept more of us, more of ourselves. And when you do that, you will start to relate to yourself and others through a lens of worthiness, respect, reverence, and restoration. That's what I have found as I've stepped back into my relationship with the study of astrology. The parts that once would trigger me don't anymore because I now see more clearly what's actually going on and how people are misusing this tool as a self-weaponizing or externalized weaponizing form versus an actual remembering tool. And it wasn't actually the tool astrology that hurt. It was the guilt and the shame that continues to be projected onto it That was hard for me to digest. So I'm going to leave you here with this. You are not here on this earth to be punished. You are not here to just be good always. You are here to be whole. You are here to be understood. You are here to be a living, breathing story of a human experience here on this earth. Let that reshape how you see your path, how you approach the tools that you're using to help you in your process, to help you reclaim within. Because that's really what this is about. We're not supposed to stay stuck in a dirty fish tank. We're supposed to remember that we are the whole ocean. And when you can clean your own side of the street and unplug from this hive mind mentality, you return to clarity. You reclaim your voice, like I am getting to do through all of this. You reclaim your vision and your way of seeing in the world. My prayer is that you will see yourself more clearly, not through the lenses of who you should be, because that's the voice of shame, is should, or not through the voice of I'm not enough, which is guilt, but through the truth of who you already are. Thank you for joining me today. Thank you for remembering on this journey with me. And thank you for being a part of this great return home and shifting out of the consciousness that doesn't actually align to integration, doesn't actually allow for us to cultivate more wisdom. I want to share an offering. I am going to be opening a 90-minute open circle session each month at the end of the month for all paid Substack subscribers. It's going to be a sacred virtual space that we get to gather together, reflect, explore what's alive inside of us and what's alive in the collective. Weave our own personal integrations together. We'll talk about the current astrology themes, and also we'll talk about the concepts and the themes that I'm sharing each month so we can go into this conversation of how we've noticed our own attachments or cording with this hive mind of guilt and shame, and how we're working on walking ourselves out of that distortion or delusion. And we'll get to actually have conversations about that together. So if that sounds nourishing to you, I invite you to become a paid subscriber. Again, the first circle will be at the end of August, and I would really love to see you there. Until next time, I'm Ash. This is Reclaim Within. Thank you so much for tuning in, spending your time with me. It truly means the world. Have a great day.